Here's what we'll be making in this video. Now to get going, we need to have some motor and a cam that is going to be moving up and down. You can use a piece like this, or these universal pieces that I've built will also work. Now a piece like this will go along with the 3D printed object that I have here, the housing. If we slide this into the housing, you'll see that the wheel extends down, so we're going to have to build up a base to keep that from setting on the ground when it's running. Now I'm going to attach this in here. There is a battery pack you'll be needing, and there's this little seat for it on the piece, as well as a switch that should snap right into that spot. Now to attach to the switch, these connectors, they fit right on there, and they will make it easier to connect everything up. The first thing I want to do is get everything seated in its proper place. So there are many ways to do this. A quick way would be hot glue, since it's not permanent. A little bit of hot glue, and then slide that exactly where I want it. Trying to keep it straight. Now, same for this. Just a ball of hot glue with the battery pack smushed on top. And lastly, the switch will fit right in the front here. So now that these are attached, what we need to do is connect the battery to the motor and the switch. So I'll take these red wires and we'll just twist those together. So the red wire from the battery pack and the red wire from the motor are just going to be stuck together all the time once we twist them together, and tape them up. Now we don't want to directly put the black wire in the black wire directly from the battery pack, because that means that the motor will be on all the time. What we want to do is hook a switch up in here, and the switch will allow us to connect the wires when the switch is on, or have it off when it's disconnected. And these crimp connectors make it pretty easy to attach these wires to the switch. There's one crimp connection, and it's pressed on to the tab. The other black wire was in the crimp connector. Gets crimped and slides onto the switch. So now that these are connected, we have the black wires are connected through the switch. So now when the switch is on, the electricity will flow through the black wire into the motor, where it will make the motor to spin. Then it comes back out through the red wire and returns to the battery. It's a loop. And the switch allows us to interrupt that loop or open the circuit. So I'm going to tidy these wires up and test this before we do anything else. Now here we are with the switch affixed in the front. The wires are glued down a little bit, and it works. So the next step will be to try to attach this skewer through the hole that we have here. Now it just became clear that this cam has too much travel for this for the skewer to travel through here. So I'm going to trade this cam out for the puck that I've created. Now this puck seats on here the same way, but it has less travel so that our piece will be moving a little more modest amount of distance. So inserting a dowel rod through here and into the puck, we should be able to get a up and down, side to side motion. When you're troubleshooting these things, you have to test each step along the way and solve the problems as they come up. In this case, I may not be able to use this second bar. So here's what it looks like together. I have the base with several layers of material helping hold it off. That's the action up and down in the cam. Now we need to start building up here at the top. Now a small strip of this material can be twisted rather easily. If you're having a hard time doing this with your hands, just put it in a vise, and you need to get one entire twist around. So the bottom matches the other side, and they're flat. Once you have that twisted, you try to make sure it's even, best you can, straight. You'll simply cut this piece in half. Now you should have a piece that it has a half twist on it, so it should be 90 degrees between the top and the bottom. And another piece that should have a half of a twist on it. And simply stand it up and check it out to make sure that it is indeed 90 degrees. What happens here is that this will allow it to fall this way and this way, but it will not allow it to rock back and forth. And up here, it will allow your piece to rock back and forth, but it will not allow it to slough off to the sides. So these two pieces together are going to be holding up whatever it is you're constructing and letting it pivot however it needs to pivot. So on top of this, we will need a long, skinny board that will allow these pieces the movement that they need to do. Here is such a piece, rather long and narrow. I'm going to attach it on the side here because our piece will be moving up and down in this direction. So here we are. We're going to attach this piece. Should get it in the center. And attach it. Now our arms, twisty arms, are going to have to be oriented a certain way. Now if we watch this, it's going to go up and down. So our bird needs to go up and down. This will not work as well as it will here. So I'm going to orient these like this. And to attach these, we could get a nice hinge on there, which would look really nice. For today, since I have some, we'll just use some packaging tape to attach these. To try to get it ready and test it out. Now, taking your time and doing it neatly will help you in the end, as opposed to rushing and having to tear it off and redo it. or it's simply not working. Now here they are attached. You'll see, you should test that they would be able to rock a little bit back and forth. It's helpful if they can't fall all the way over, but they need to be able to move freely back and forth. And whatever you attach will need to rock up and down this way, because our piece will be pulling it back and forth quite a lot. Now, before I attach the top, I want to make sure that this is not able to fall off very easily. So what I'm going to do is take a rubber band and wrap it around that post down near the bottom, and I will attach it such that it's pulling the post into the cam all the time. So right now, that rubber band will be pulling in on that post at all times so that it, and I need to adjust it, it cannot fall out. Get this rubber band attached somewhere up here so that it's always pushing inward on there. It'll be much harder for this to fall out before we start attaching anything. So now we are ready to attach the bird. This thing will be flexible in this way. It's going to go on right over this post and attach right in here. All right, so now we have it. It's made. I've attached the tops to these wings that I've made, and I've hot glued the skewer into the hole there. Here's what it looks like as it's running.